In terms of tackling security, there is lack of political will.
Beyond the headlines,
who are the sponsors of insecurity in this country?
From breaking news to everyday conversations, this is where Nigeria's conversations begin. We track the issues shaping Nigeria and the world today. The world is talking, and we're listening. This is Trends on LJE News.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Trends on LJE News, where we bring you the latest and developing stories in Nigeria and of course across the globe. My name is Omotola Adeleke. Of course, I have right here with me Judith. Judith, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
Hope you're ready for today's episode of Trends.
Yes, of course I am.
All right, we also have Esther right here with us. Esther, hope you're good.
Yes, I am.
We're ready for today's conversation, of course.
Sure.
Don't forget you can be a part of our growing online community by hitting that follow, like, share, and subscribe button right now on all platforms at LJE News. Let's quickly run through our headlines for this edition of Trends. Dangote Refinery cuts petrol price by 100 naira. Diesel down by 190 naira. Government knows terrorist identities and locations, says Gumi. Senate drops Akpoti-Uduaghan from UN Women's Conference delegation, names male senator as replacement. Federal government monitors Iran-US-Israel tensions, considers policy measures to protect economy. And now to the lead story. Dangote Refinery has reduced the price of petrol and diesel. According to a new pricing template released on March 10, 2026, the gantry price of premium motor spirit, PMS, has dropped by 100 naira, falling from 1,175 naira to 1,075 naira per litre. For coastal supply, PMS will now sell at 1,050 naira per litre, reflecting minor maritime distribution cost. The refinery also reduced the price of automotive gas oil, diesel, to 1,430 naira per litre at the gantry, down from 1,620 naira, representing a 190 naira cut. However, the refinery noted that these gantry prices do not include statutory fees charged by the Nigerian midstream and downstream petroleum regulatory authority. Judith, so you've heard it. Recently we also heard that the global crude oil benchmark has reduced, from $100 per barrel. It has just a bit reduced. And there's also this news that Hungary and South Korea, placed a fuel price cap to also make sure, the fuel price increase doesn't increase the hardship of people, especially in this region, in those regions and those countries. Now, that's saying you have a limit to where you can sell your oil, to where you can sell petrol. So that happened in South Korea and Hungary. Do you think that's probably what's happening in Nigeria?
Well, I don't think it's what's happening in Nigeria. I feel like Dangote reduced his gantry price because of the decrease in the price per barrel of fuel. Yeah, because he's a businessman and everybody goes into business with profits in mind. So I don't think, and we've not heard that the government puts a cap on the price of fuel. It's just him reducing his own price following the decrease in the price per barrel. So I don't think this is what is happening. Although I think the move by South Korea is a really good one because they are trying to ensure that the citizens of the country doesn't suffer more economic hardship at this time. So I think it's a really good move, and if it's possible, the Nigerian government should do something like that to cushion the effects of the price on the
Judith, you keep saying Dangote is a businessman and he needs to make profit, but in a situation where you're making too much profit, does that still say you're a businessman, or you're just extorting people and taking advantage of people? Because we actually lack in refineries. Businessman doesn't actually mean you should make too much profit.
That is where regulation of prices by the government comes in. Because right now, we have a deregulated fuel market in the country. So it's a you.
So you don't think it should be a crime for you to make too much gain?
It's not a crime. It's definitely not a crime. Even aside fuel, on other products, in the area of agriculture, in the area of basically every business in the country, I don't think it's a crime it's a bad thing. It may not be a good thing per se, but I don't think it's a criminal offense to put the as much profit as you want on your goods. That is why I still maintain that prices in Nigeria should be regulated. There should be a limit, a cap to how much profit a business owner should put on their products.
All right, Esther, in saner climes like the United States of America, Canada, and even the United Kingdom, you can report anyone who makes too much gain. You can report any business person who overhikes, their prices, or just surges the prices and all that. So don't you also think it should be a crime for someone or a business individual or an entrepreneur to just, want to make too much gain?
It's not a crime because they can't be arrested for making too much gain. But it's about having empathy. As of now, the price of this fuel is already affecting so many Nigerians in so many ways. I wish this was a thing in Nigeria where we could actually report.
Because businesses can be shut down in a place like America if your prices are too high.
It's sad that we don't have such laws here in Nigeria. If that was a functional law in Nigeria, we wouldn't be suffering things like this because the price volatility in the market is extreme. Today you buy for higher, tomorrow you buy for lower, next tomorrow it's not even a stable price where we know that, I understand that it's not fixed price because of the fuel increase and decrease from the global market. But at the same time, he has a refinery here in Nigeria. He should be able to curb and assist. We are all Nigerians. And aside the fuel business, he has other businesses. He makes cements, he makes, pastries and all of that. I say pastries, pasta and all of that. So there are other businesses he can actually make his money from. But the fuel thing is where it's affecting so many Nigerians. So many people don't even use cars to work anymore. People don't even, the price has doubled. And it's supposed to be a local refinery that assists Nigerians to come together and make life easier for us. So I think you should actually have a second thought on it.
It has even gotten to that point where people who have private cars, people who just have their cars for personal reasons, they now use their cars as kabu.
And I think this is even going to, because here in Abuja, we suffer from one chance. This is even the best time for them to attack because now you don't even know whose car you're entering because most of the taxi drivers are no longer going to their various routes, because if you tell somebody that usually pays 1,000 naira that it's now 1,500 or 2K, the person is going to feel a bit of I'm not ready to do this. But a private car owner can actually take it for that price, and that is where the one chance comes in, because everybody is trying to go, because you don't even compare yourself. If you compare your salary to what you spend on transport lately, it's no longer enough as a now because of the fuel increment. So it's really risky.
Okay, so do you think the 100 naira reduction is a considerable one?
It's not. It's really not. It's maybe considerable to him, given that it's his personal business. But on the after effects and long-term effects of Nigeria, what did he really change? It didn't really change much.
All right. Let's also move on to this story. Kaduna-based Islamic scholar Ahmad Gumi has alleged that the Nigerian government is aware of the identities and locations of terrorists operating across the country. Speaking in a recent interview with DRTV that began trending on Tuesday, the cleric responded to accusations that he maintains close contact with bandits and frequently speaks on their behalf. Gumi clarified that his interactions with armed groups are not conducted privately, insisting they often involve security agencies. According to him, negotiations are typically carried out alongside police officers and other officials. He also revealed that some of these engagements include visits to traditional rulers and trips into forests believed to serve as bandit hideouts, stressing that such efforts are part of broader attempt to mediate and address insecurity. Wow. Esther.
Honestly, I don't know. I've said this before, that it's really funny how all of these things happen and the governments claim that they are like on the part of Nigerians. There's every possible way that they are linked into this knowing where these bandits are, because over time we see situations of negotiations. Even when the arrests are being made, they still release them and say it's for maybe the other time. Exactly. rehabilitation or
And
even
reintegrating them into the society.
or to make them, they can change their ways. What about other criminals in prison? Can't they change their ways? Why is it only these bandits that can change their ways? Sometimes they even release them and say, if we release, the other time when they kidnapped over 250 people, they released 2 people in order of exchanging. Okay, take 2 people and give us this set of people that you've kidnapped. And then I think they allegedly gave them money too. So it's more like empowering these people. You're not trying, even the ones that you've already kidnapped, why do you still have to let them back into the society?
Okay, I've noticed, I don't know if it's just me, Judith, Sheikh Gumi comes out to say some of these things, make some of these statements, lots of controversial statements in the past. But couple of times, you don't see the government actually come out to respond or even deny them.
Well, like I always say here, the government definitely knows who the bandits are. I actually agree with him. And I also noticed that he did not deny maintaining close contacts with
He
these
has always
bandits.
been saying it. It's not the first time.
He's literally their friend. And then he now sits with the government. The supposed government are supposed to be for Nigerians. And they discuss, they hold meetings, then they go to negotiate with bandits. The bandits are supposed to be enemies of the country because they attack the country, they attack the citizens, they kidnap people, they kill people. And then the government goes to negotiate with these people. Is that not an act of treason? Because
a core member was killed recently.
A
core member,
member.
and one of the bandits came live on TikTok doing a video and showing the money that they collected as ransom. They collected the ransom and still killed the young guy.
And these ransoms are delivered in person. They go to their hideouts and give them cash. So I don't know if it's just me that sees how crazy this thing is, because really, like, do they even?
It's also
What should
funny
they
how
even do?
if it were to be a random Nigerian committing any of this crime, they'll pick them in 2 seconds. They can really trace them and find them and get them arrested in the shortest period of time. But when it gets to banditry attacks and killings, suddenly they don't know how to go about it. Suddenly they're just expecting that everybody should just calm down, let them negotiate and dialogue. But if it was just one person that is maybe going about killing people and is not in their own favor, they will find the person and get the person arrested. But then when it's a group of people, like 10, 15 people that go into a community and kill people, they have no idea where they stay.
Sheikh Gumi has been making statements, lots of it in the past, that indicate he knows this bandit. He has sat and eaten, drank water or kunu or even zobo, with this bandit. And yet the government, the federal government especially, have not been able to call him, to speak to him, to probably ask questions, interrogate him, on how to defeat this bandit. Do you think there's something Sheikh Gumi knows that the government is probably trying to avoid? Because it seems the government is avoiding him, because for someone who has this
So much
amount
information.
of information, perhaps it should be called. Come, these people, right? Let us know.
That is
Their hideout.
that
You
is
know
why
their names.
we
You
are
eat and dine with them.
That is why I'm insinuating, or I'm saying that the government is working hand in hand with these bandits, because if they were not favorable to them, they would have gotten them a long time ago, because there are so many significant ways that you can go about finding these people. We know, at least for a fact, we know that this man has had contacts with these people. Why don't you invite him and say, oh, okay, instead of negotiating with the bandits, why don't you invite him and say, this is what we want us to do. You can assist us to get these bandits, and this is what we can do for you. But it just totally, this is not the first time he's coming out to say anything. And over time, they've not responded to him. They've not called him for any negotiation or dialogue. They're always trying to dialogue with the bandits themselves, when we know that
They've not even
liaise with, and he can take us to where they stay, not even their hideouts, but probably their houses or something, because they don't stay in big places. They stay in the bushes. So this man definitely would know at least a place or 2 or 3 or where these people are staying.
Some of this, some critics of the government have been arrested because they probably came on social media to criticize the government, and immediately they're being picked up. Now Sheikh Gumi is saying the government knows who these people are, knows their location. Don't you think? The other time Showore made a statement on Facebook and immediately got arrested. But Sheikh Gumi has been making couple statements.
The thing is, like I already said before, the government is the sponsor. They are the sponsors of these bandits. So
that's strong.
it is clearly what is happening at the moment. I mean, the Sheikh Gumi has also come out to say that the people, they know the
But
location.
should we just believe Sheikh Gumi?
He has contacts. He has said it. He doesn't hide it that he has contacts with the bandits, and he has also said he goes with the government to the locations, the hideouts of these people. Of course, we should believe him. If he is friends with the bandits, then he obviously knows who the sponsors are. And I feel like this is just him insinuating, because they were calling him out for being friends with them, and he's now coming out to say it's not only me. Oh, see, me and your leaders are even the ones doing this thing together.
Anti-security agencies who are also
we are
being
supposed
killed.
to protect us. Like, how exactly is this even supposed to work? He's saying now that I'm not the only one. If you are going to attack anybody, attack me and your government, because all of us together are the ones doing these things. So this is him coming out clearly to say that they know this and the government is responsible for it.
All right. The leadership of the Nigerian Senate has removed Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan from Nigeria's delegation to the 70th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, CSW 70 in New York. The global meeting, running from March 9 to 19 at the United Nations headquarters, focuses on improving access to justice for women and advancing gender equality. Member states are expected to send delegations to participate in negotiations and, of course, discussions. However, concerns have emerged after Akpoti-Uduaghan, initially listed to attend, was reportedly replaced by a male senator, despite the conference centering on women's rights and gender-related issues. Sending a man to do a woman's work. Is that not what it sounds like, Judith?
I mean, this is a clear disregard of women by the Senate president. I mean, even if they don't want to send Senator Natasha, there are 4 women.
Please, let's not just start accusing the Senate president. It was not a specific. This was a decision, by people.
It was a decision
by those
people.
lawmakers.
The lawmakers are made up of mostly men. So, and he's the leader. If the other people are saying, let us remove this woman that is supposed to go and represent women in a women conference, why is he as the leader not saying, no, this is a women's conference, a woman has to go? Like I said, there are 4 women in the Senate. Why didn't they take any of the other 3 to the conference? Why did they pick a man to go and speak for women? The man would clearly. They are going to discuss gender equality and inclusion of women. What is he going to do? Like, what exactly is he going to say? How can you represent women when you are not even a woman? You don't know the struggles of women. You don't know the things you only know the things you are told. You don't feel these things. So how exactly do you plan to go and represent the women properly?
So, Esther, is this a representation of the Senate versus Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan? Because, of course, in recent times, Natasha has had different problems with the Senate. Argument. We know the one of the Senate president himself, Fabio, the one with the Ebonyi lawmaker, Ebonyi, and so other people like that. So is this looking like the fighting this woman? Is this looking like there's a fight between them and this woman? Or is it that they don't like our gods? Let me hear from you.
If it's in regards to Senator Natasha, definitely. There are so many forces fighting the fact that she is a female in the Senate's representation.
You think it's about being a female? Because there are other females there.
Yes, but she's very courageous. She's daring. And men, I feel like men in her circle or in her space feel intimidated that, oh, this woman is doing too much. This woman is coming out a whole lot. There are so many forces fighting her at the same time. And this is just like to hurt her. This display from the Senate is to hurt her ego, because what is a man doing in a woman conference when they are
and
4
we should
women
also know that her name was actually there.
Then and it was
taken
removed
away.
That is to tell you that they are literally trying to hurt her. If she comes out to retaliate now, it will move from the fact that this is what they did to push her to the fact that Natasha is always coming out to fight people and drag people and all of that. They are pushing her to the wall. And when she tries to come out and say, I'm trying to resist or no, it turns out that this is what she does at the end of the day. Now you're removing her name where they're supposed to discuss what, like Judy said, it's supposed to be a women's conference. how would this man go and talk to women? Me personally, if I'm going for a women's conference or all of that, I should expect to see a woman leader or a woman speaker. So going there and I'm seeing a man speaking to me, oh, my women, how am I supposed to relate to what you're saying? My fellow, what exactly are you supposed to say to the women? Being a man in a woman's conference. But if it's a woman, even if it's not her, it can be any other person, but it's not just right. Imagine going for a man's meeting and you're being addressed by a woman. It will really be painful.
All right. We still need to, ask this. You rightly mentioned that we have other women in the National Assembly, specifically, in the Senate where she belongs. But why are these women not coming out to speak for her? The other one that happened with Akpabio, none of them came fast. Most of them came out to speak for Akpabio, in support of Akpabio. In fact, we had other women even protested. Women in politics who protested against Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. So why are they not speaking for this woman? Do you think she herself, she's probably overdoing it? Do you think there's actually a problem with her?
I don't think it's a problem with her. I think it's more of it's a problem of the other women are saying how she's being treated. Because at this point, it feels like she's being witch-hunted by the men. And in a space where there are more men than women, and the one woman that dares to speak up is being treated this way, the others are probably just trying to, to be safe from the attacks on her. They are trying to, save themselves.
To be safe by supporting.
Most times they just keep quiet. Most times they keep quiet. They don't say anything in regards to what.
No, during Akpabio's time, a couple of them actually spoke in favor of Akpabio.
Yes. So, like I said, it honestly feels like they are being safe, because there's no way they want to say they are not seeing what is happening. And most times that she has come up to speak, she just says the things that are actually true. She speaks the truth most times. So it feels like this truth is hurting the ego of the men, and they don't like it. So they are attacking her, and the others don't want to get involved because obviously they are outnumbered. And if they get involved, the attacks on her would now be on them too. And everybody mostly just wants to be safe.
But is it about being safe?
If you ask me,
why would you want to feel safe when your fellow woman is being attacked?
If you ask me, amongst the women in the Senate, Senator Natasha is really the one most spoken of. So other women feel more like, envious? Oh, okay, yes, that's what I was about. Other women feel more like, if we can join hands with the men, we can actually push her out and maybe we can come to light. Because everybody, me personally, among all the women, I'm very conversant with Senator Natasha's name and her outwards and all of that. I really don't know about the rest. So I feel more like they are joining hands with the men, not because they don't know that she's speaking the truth or she's doing most of these things the right way, but they feel more like if they put their hands together with the men, they can actually push her aside and probably come to light. So it's more of a thing of envy, like, oh, why you always the one out there? Why you always the one people are talking about? Please, let's put hands together and push you away so that I can come. Because it feels more like she's blocking the light. Okay, of all of them now, they chose her to represent the women. And when they removed her, they didn't choose from the remaining. They took a man instead. So I feel like it's more of a thing of, it's either since Natasha does this, we take her out, or we just remain at the back end.
So you think this is not just about men trying to intimidate her, but it's also about women who are envious of her?
Yes, the women are not coming. If they are standing by her, they would actually bring more women unionism, but they are fighting her. The women are fighting her, and it's really sad that women are not supporting women where they should support women.
But because Judith, you said those ones in the Senate are trying to be safe, they're trying to keep safe and all that. How about other women in politics who are not in the Senate actually, but actually still protesting against Natasha Akpoti? So what would those ones stand to even lose if they support, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan? Are those ones also trying to feel safe?
Well, those ones, I really cannot speak for them. But there is the part of them being, they might really be envious and wanting to like push her out so they could come to the limelight. And then the other women politicians too know that really, as at now in Nigeria, the men are the ones at the helm of politics in the country. You barely hear of women in politics. Women are mostly just, I don't want to say sidelined, but it feels like they are mostly sidelines. They are mostly in the back end of things in politics.
Talking about being sidelined, there's a bill on board that gives opportunity to women, even if they don't really fight for it. You know, yeah, in fact, ADC recently mentioned that 40% of the positions will be given to women. Now, this is not the first time this has been said. Do you think it's about sidelining? Because we also have women who come to serve as political cheerleaders for these men. So don't you think women should push more rather than just sitting down and expect manna to fall from heaven?
Yeah, I was getting to that part. I feel like it is time for more women to not just be on social media talking about these things. For it is actually time for action now. Since we are saying that women are underrepresented in politics in the country, I feel like it is time for more women who are capable to come to the front, to bring themselves out and actually fill up these roles. And I feel like things like this would be avoided if there are more women in politics generally.
All right, thank you very much, Judith. Quickly, let's go on a short break. And of course, when we return, I will still talk about some other stories, especially about the tensions in the Middle East. We will be right back.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is LJE Nigeria. We're calling you concerning the petition you filed about your brother.
Yes, sir.
We're pleased to inform you that your brother has been released. The detention was declared unlawful and all charges have been dropped.
He's out?
Yes, our legal team secured an emergency hearing and the court was able to declare that the detention violated his fundamental human rights. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
When power is abused, when your voice is ignored, when justice feels delayed, you don't have to fight alone. If your rights are being violated, don't stay silent. Contact LJE Nigeria today, because justice delayed can destroy lives, but justice pursued can restore hope. Visit www.ljenigeria.org to report any violation today.
Welcome back, and of course, don't forget it still trends on LJE News. My name is Omotola Adeleke, and we're still talking about, some of the stories making the rounds. Quickly, the federal government says it is closely monitoring rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East involving Iran, United States, and Israel, warning that policy adjustment may be introduced to protect Nigerians' economy and citizens. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, disclosed this in a statement issued Tuesday in Abuja and signed by the ministry's Assistant Director of Information and Public Relations, Uloma Amadi. Although specific measures were not outlined, the government said it is reviewing options to cushion potential economic shocks. Edu noted that the economic management team is working across fiscal, monetary, and energy institutions to protect households and businesses, sustain investor confidence, and preserve Nigerians' recent gains in macroeconomic stability and economic growth. Esther, what do you think about this?
Well, it's good to know that the government is actually taking steps, like they said, to actually cushion the effects of, or the coming effects of this Middle East war, because definitely it's going to get, if it escalates further, it's going to affect us in so many ways. And look at now, it's really affecting us in terms of the fuel, because the fuel, it's been imported globally. So if peradventure it gets worse, it might even lead to loss of lives and all of that. So knowing that the governments are actually putting in measures and actually taking accountability of the fact that Nigerians are their own to protect, is actually good to know.
All right, but what do you think the government can actually do? In fact, what I heard mostly from what Wale Edun just said is they're trying to protect the economy, even though they talked about trying to protect households and businesses. But what do you think or what would you think they should do? If you're to advise the presidency on what to do to help cushion or protect the economy, what would you say to them?
Honestly, at this point, it feels like Nigerians are always talking and talking and talking, and eventually the government does exactly nothing happens. The government does whatever they have in mind, and in the news, they didn't even state any specific things that they want to do. They just said they are reviewing potential things that can be done. So at this point, I feel like suggesting anything to the government is really pointless.
No, it's not. It's not.
Eventually,
And that's why we're on this platform. We know a couple of times we had suggested stuff, we had suggested some things, and it went into consideration. So it wouldn't even be a bad idea. You don't just give up like that. So what do you think can be done? Do you think palliatives should be given? Do you think grants should be given? Because now they're saying they're trying to protect the economy. That might even probably mean taxes might be increased. Esther.
Honestly, in terms of protecting the economy, over time, I don't know how they've helped in protecting the economy. So now that the economy is even going, okay, let's talk about the issue of the fuel now. They've not even protected us from paying expensive money to buy fuel. So what other economy can they protect us from doing? Is it the hunger that is in the nation, or is it the I don't know what economy do they really want to protect us from exactly?
But what do you think can be done, especially to cushion the effect of this increase in fuel price? What do you think can be done to
I've preached
help
price regulation over time. We are running a deregulated system. Business owners put prices that can even go. In fact, they can even buy something for 10,000 and sell it for 20. Like, it's double the price. And no, but in fact, people feel more like the more expensive it is, the more like how do I put it? Like, it's the original value. If you get something that is cheap, they feel like that one is not the original one. So I feel like price regulation is the best thing the Nigerian government can do for Nigerians at a time. Come out and say, we have CAC registration, your businesses are registered. So these people should come together and say, are you registering your business? This is the limits to which you can put on your profits. To really go a long way for us.
Because we go around sometimes and we see people, revenue officers who go around to, embarrass, yes, that's the word, to harass some small scale business people.
Owners.
Seize their goods, seize their product, and not because of price, but because they're probably trying to take some
extra
tax. They're trying to take some fees from them, and they get to harass them. Why can't they use the same people to enforce, prices, especially these ones that escalate the prices unnecessarily?
I feel like, honestly, that's a very, very good idea at this moment. This moment where it feels like there is a global economic hardship. It feels like at this moment a regulation on prices would actually be a very good move, because as much as there is global hardship, I still know that there are still some people that are using the opportunity to take advantage of other people. I mean, their excuse is always, fuel is expensive. This thing has no direct impact on you.
Most people would want to,
exactly,
because there will always be that excuse of fuel price is high,
it's expensive, and you're adding over 100% of your cost price. It feels like now is actually the time that we need to regulate these things.
The price regulation has to really be consistent, because sometimes the businesses are not even related to fuel. Because why would you tell me I want to buy mango that you pluck from the tree, and you're telling me that the fuel is expensive? Say you use the fuel to climb the tree, or what really happened? The price regulation has to be a thing in Nigeria.
I was speaking with a very good friend of mine, yesterday, and she mentioned something. She said the prices of things should not even increase. That there was a time fuel price climbed, last year, climbed up till like 1,200 naira, 1,300 naira. And that period, prices went up.
And now, they never came down.
The fuel price came down. But prices did not go down. So why increasing it again when the price that you increased it to was because of the 1,300 naira that you bought petrol, per liter at that time?
It's really crazy. I mean, it's greed. It's greed. It's covetousness. It's lack of empathy. It's everything. We are human. It's part of just everybody is trying to make profit. Everybody wants to live comfortably. But what about people that are actually struggling for the money to get these things from you? Because without your customers, you can't make sales, you can't make business, your business can't progress. But you're not even putting your customers into consideration. You know that this is the amount you got this thing for, and you make, even when the prices go down, as far as people have started buying it for that particular price, it never goes down.
But has greed become, a Nigerian thing? Because we've been talking government. We, the people ourselves, especially when those people who criticize the government, you go to their shops sometimes and you'll be so surprised the way they get to, exponentially increase the prices of whatever they sell.
It has been said here on this table that Nigerians are selfish people. Yes, greed is a big issue in this country. Everybody wants to take advantage of the other person, and their new favorite slang is "You are not my target audience." When you want to complain about the price, they are like, "You are not my target audience." If I am not your target audience, who then is your target audience? Are there specific people that you get to rip off?
That you can easily extort because you think they have money.
Are there specific people that you get to rip off? Well, like, the price regulation thing is a really good move, and I think every business should actually be regulated. Online business owners and physical business owners too. I think yes, their prices should really be regulated. And I think in Canada or in the US, the maximum profits business owners can put on their products is between 10% to 12% of the cost price. So I think if something like that is done in Nigeria, it would really, really help us here.
And you see people who place prices of up to 50-100% on, we talked about house rent the other time.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate. I think I would have to agree with Esther and Judith on this one. Price regulation would be a step in the right direction, especially to cushion the effect of what's happening in Iran versus US and Israel. But that's it for today's edition of Trends on LJE News. Once again, thank you, Esther and Judith, for your input.
Thank you.
To our viewers and listeners out there, make sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe at LJE News on all social media platforms to stay in the loop and join the conversation ahead of our next show. My name is Omotola Adeleke. See you next time. Bye for now.